Well, you guys, my lovely doggy friends, you know what we're doing, everyone? Ah, hi, I'm Ronnie. Of course, you know me. Here's Rocky Roo. We're just finishing up the first vortex of the morning. Uh, oh, we got another one we're gonna do, I guess. Yeah. You want some more? You want more coffee? Yeah, you got it. You want more coffee? And there's here, right here. There's a little left. Come here, Rocky. Come here. Have some coffee. Mm. It's more frozen yogurt with coffee, some coffee in it, a little bit of honey. Mm. Oh, it's so yummy, huh? Beans likes it too, huh? I have to share half of my coffee with you. Half of it. Anyway, so here's how this goes. Aurora. You may be thinking about what we're talking about, Aurora Borealis or something. And no, we're talking about a human that goes by the name, the stage name, Aurora. Yeah, Aurora. The link is in the description. The link to what we're going to be watching, we're going to put it on headphones and we're going to be talking about it, I guess, for a minute, watching it, maybe jamming to it, huh? And our signal is going to come out. We're directly connected through our system, and so it's like the keyboards, the microphones, all that stuff. They go direct in. So anyway, so check how this goes. I can start the video of Aurora. We just we ran across this girl. Man, I tell you what, very petite, super feminine, blonde girl, and she has this really glassy voice, and when she sings, and oh, Rocky, you want that? Ooh, dogs are weird. Anyway, whatever makes him happy. Oh, oh, here, gross. Oh, that's some. Oh, I thought it was. Oh, look, I found something. Okay, let me just put that away. Something I forgot I had. That's nice. So anyway, Aurora. Aurora means light of many colors. It's what it means. And Aurora Borealis is the light of many colors that happens at the North Pole. Or the South Pole, the Borealis. So anyway, from the ionization of the upper atmosphere and stuff, whatever. Anyway, but so this Aurora, I guess it's German. I guess she's German, from Germany or something. I guess that's the language. That's the best guess. The language we were talking, they were speaking in. Um, so could be one of those Dutch or German or something. So um, let's get this itch right here. Whenever I go get a camera, and whenever I get on camera in a video camera, I get this itch right on the end of my nose. It's some psychological thing, I think. Hair there, maybe. Anyway, back to Aurora. Um, best thing I can say about it is like, well, just infatuated. Just this, her artistry, what she stands for. She's an eco warrior, ecologist. You know, um, yeah. So what we're going to do, I'm going to put on headphones. I can for purpose of synchronization. So you can take and pick up that link and get another tab. Here's how you do this: is um, I'm going to start watching, right, and uh, I'm going to let it play into it for a minute, and then I'm going to cut it. Okay, and then all you'll have is be my microphones, my feed, my guitar, whatever I put into it. Okay, and what you can do though is see, you can take and pull up the second tab, and you can put picture in picture, or put them side by side, separate them and put them side by side. That works too. You put them side by side, it makes it easier to synchronize them. What you do is you go back in time, create some latency. So, and you'll start it from the beginning, and it'll give you a few minutes, a minute or two. You go back and you give in both feeds, or in my feed, and you start that feed, and you'll wait for the moment when I start her feed or her video, the one on from her channel. Okay. Oh yeah, I pasted the link to her channel, not to the particular video. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take and put the share the link. I'm gonna share the link into the comment box of the particular um, um, one we're watching. Okay, while we're having our next cup of, while we're making our next vortex in the cup. So anyway, the correct. By the way, I named my show. This show. I'm going to explain them now. Vorticies, okay, is kind of a way of saying that there's no correctly, technically correct spelling for the word vortices. You can spell it with an I or an E, and it's been an acceptable word, but really not correct because of the root of the word vortex. Really, it is correct to say vortexes, okay? But for this show, for this title, it just sounds better. Our daily vortices, because it's like, it's more complicated than just a vortex. The metaphorical vortexes are way more, well, actually, yeah, I think they are more complicated when you get into it. When you, when stuff happens. Anyway, um, I'm planning on on this show. We're going to be having some our episodes. We're going to get some people in a chair over here talking about their paranormal experiences, and we've had some right here in this place. And you know what? See, I'm a scientist. I've got the scientific mind, right? Totally skeptical. Came into it, got this memory that goes back way, way back, okay? Before we were here. We remember from before we were here. Okay, so yeah, that dimension is real. It's another dimension. We have to call it another dimension. Knowing that, quantum physics and the standard model and string theory all put together in kind of in the way we understand it. We do understand it in a mix, coupled with the creation and the spirit and all that stuff. We kind of got a way of putting it together. How correct it is, who knows? It's a hypothesis. All hypotheses have, of course, you're talking about strings, which I think which was what makes up the Higgs field, okay, or what we refer to the inside our expansion, and that's that Higgs field, and then there's the field of strings outside of the Higgs field, outside of our expansion, that has been referred to in Minkowski space. Anyway, oh, we're getting off track here. We wanted to talk about Aurora today, and now we're talking about strings and about spirits and how the other dimensions come into this realm of the spirit, and how we have to take notice of it because we have some right here in this place. We've experienced some direct experiences. One we have to mention again with this chord keyboard. When we're up here to play with both hands, the volume goes from 3 to 7. While we're doing knock knock knocking on heaven's door, and we'll contend like we maybe think it's our friend. Well, okay, I got to explain now how that I think how that works, how we think that works in quantum mechanics system, where there's the strings, okay, which could be referred to as gravitons, which are the things that vibrate that create the pressure, which creates the pushing of gravity. Look up Casimir force. Um, uh, yeah, so it's the vibration, all that created the particles to begin with. Anything big enough to stay tangled, it remained a particle, and anything that wasn't went back into the Higgs field and became space-time. So, um, and that's what's happening when in the wave function when a photon's created. You know, the Higgs field comes together and goes boom, and they tangle for a minute, and during that peak of that wave pattern, as it travels along, that it remains a photon until it goes and comes plowing, hits something, goes bang, and the pigment is there, whatever is absorbed or reflected. So anyway, so back to this thing where, like, well, what I think can happen is this. I think what can happen is on a way more lower level, subtle level, way more subtle level. Okay. Um, okay. This is a stretch. It's really a stretch hypothesis, but I have to go there because we've had direct experience, and we can no more duplicate it, have them the spirits duplicate it than 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 you can prove me right or wrong by what I'm saying about it. We only have you only have my honest to God word that, and we spoke of God, and we bring that subject in. See, we're the one who brought it up for Stephen, our friend Stephen Hawking. We met him years ago before he got famous. He decided to take a ride on a cat bus. I think maybe he did it deliberately, maybe he set it up and ultimately, maybe because of a certain thing that got passed around, you know, certain thing we did in grade school that got passed around. She all went straight. Anyway, they were just really dumbfounded by it. In grade school, the NASA came in our classroom. They were the one who were responsible for the heat shield on the bottom of these shuttles, shuttle design, which is actually a great design for a re-entry safety craft. I love that design. The delta wing, single wing, they're so stable. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, it's the centrifugal force on the front edge. This is really a scoop, and this is angled. This has to be angled just right, just perfect. So it scoops, it picks it up a little bit, scoops it down, creates a pressure zone underneath in the cavity here against the track surface, the table or whatever it is, and then as it comes around the front here, it catches that circle, catches this front edge, and goes like that, really sharp edge. And well, because anytime there's an acceleration, then velocity is squared. because it's converted to an acceleration. Okay, and the reason why it's squared is because, well, because of the Higgs field, the space-time, because it's like everything's like a sponge, to it, so to speak. If you can think of a sponge sitting hanging out in the water, how about a sponge? You get the water, there's no top and no surface, it's all water. You put a sponge by it, well, okay, how about a sponge made of half stainless steel and half some floaty stuff? So it's okay. Here's the plants talking again. They want to get in on it. I wish I could translate that. There's a video out there, on YouTube. It's on YouTube actually. There's a research lab that's actually researching that thing on how the plants talk to each other. Okay. Now I'm off track again. So anyway, so we need to hurry up and get some of this done. But I don't know if we're going to listen. You have time this morning to listen to this whole track, but I want to put this track on, and I'll give you a little taste of it. I'll hit my little button so it goes direct. Okay, for just a minute. I can get away with it right in the beginning. It's just as I start the video, I'll hit it a little bit, and then I'll wait, and then I'll hit it a bit. And that actually I could, because of what we're doing, we could actually send you the whole thing. If it's on YouTube, to send it back through YouTube. But see, the thing is, give credit where. See, I don't know how that works. YouTube, I think copywriting might make a problem. So anyway, I don't know. Maybe if I had permission to send it to you, resend it, repost it, but we don't. And so and because it's a spur of the moment idea, we didn't bother getting permission. So we're not gonna send it to you. So what we did is we created it. We're gonna send you the link to we're gonna put it in the comment and in the little thing on the side here as we do it. Okay. And then you'll have it, and then we'll send enough of it as it starts where you can synchronize the feed. Okay. And it'll be cool because you'll have the video. You'll have the video with my commentary or not jamming. And then here will be the thing. It's like, well, I might put the camera on the dogs and pick up an instrument and jam. And you may not even know that I'm jamming to it. If you've never heard it before. And there's the thing. Excuse me. That's the chronic sinusitis. If you ever had that, people die in their old age because they can't get rid of that phlegm. It goes up and it develops here, and you end up inhaling while you sleep. And they sleep on their back. See why I end up sleeping? Because of that, well, we know this in the knowledge. We sleep on our side. I sleep on my stomach. If I sleep on my back, it's only after I clean my sinuses out, and whatever. And I got to invent this thing. I got this water pick for your teeth. So I'm going to take and make this rubber hose thing, and it'll be actually literally rub your nose with a rubber hose, but it'll be treatment. There's a thing for plumbing called a jetter, and we've used them before, and we need to make one for our pressure washer, so we have a jetter for doing the drains for this trailer park and stuff. It's really nice to have. So what it is, it's basically a head that shoots water backwards, shoots a little spray forwards to moisten that, and then it shoots water backwards to work its way inwards, and it shoots the high pressure, and it shoots that high pressure water, and it pulls it to this hose in, and while it does it, it shoots all that crapola loose, and it allows it to run down the drain while you run the thing. So anyway, so we make one for my nose, a jetter for my nose. Run it right up in there. And take the other side, run it right up in there. You know, wash all that crap out, and I won't have to use my, you know, won't have to be barbaric anymore. The itchy thing probably goes away too. And pluck the hairs out and run the jetter in there, then that goes away. Yeah, and it would be nice. So I need to make that tea. Okay. Anyway, that went blew hard, blew too hard, and went too far. Went upside down. Didn't endo. Anyway, so back to that thing. So anyway, back to this thing. Okay, so maybe that's why. Maybe he actually did that on purpose when he couldn't see me and talk to me. So at any rate, on that bus ride, we talked about the book Theory of Everything. We talked about the Hadron Collider. We discussed the Schrodinger's equation, the double split experiment, and discussed the wave particle paradox, and explained it to him just like that. It's like, well, this is what we think. It's a wave function that comes together and entangles the particles of the Higgs field, which are still. Anyway, anyway, which might be strange. We didn't actually get introduced to string theory until after we spoke to Stephen. So we met Stephen. Huh, James? No. Where did we get introduced to string theory? Maybe it was Berkeley Library. Physics book. Anyway, I don't know. You know, my memory is I've got it's full of shit. My brain is full of stuff, packed in there for years and years and years of packing stuff in, and it's all a confusion of a timeline. Okay, we have no timeline for anything because, well, before we came, it was that we don't want to come here. We don't want to be a man, well, you got to be because the first mission is you be man. So what about the others after that? You don't have to be. It's like, oh, I got a choice. It's okay. And then as soon as we said okay, it's here we were. Anyway, we still remember that, and because we remember that, well, there's always been the doubt, and when we learned how to be skeptical early on, skeptical about all of it, but still remembered it, you know what I'm saying? So there's been this continuous through the years, this conflict of what we've remembered, what we've directly experienced, what the scientific community says, like say the paranormal stuff is not real, and God is, Stephen, before he passed away, he came and said, see, we were the one who introduced to him to make sure that, the theory of everything is like, well, you can't have the theory of everything and you talk unless you consider the existence of God and or the paranormal and or any of that unexplainable phenomenon thing, right? You can't really, and okay, see? And the extraterrestrial UFO thing, well, that's totally viable because of the statistical the odds, okay? Just consider how many solar systems there are just in our galactic arm. And then how many galactic arms we don't even know because we can't even see our whole galaxy from where we're at. We're going to send a probe up, like here's our galaxy, our pancake here, Things seem to go and work in these pancakes for some reason because of magnetism, I think. Good things come along. Yeah, see, magnetism has something to do with it. You got to consider the coupling of magnetism and gravity. The magnetism is polarized, and gravity isn't. Okay. Gravity is polarized only in as much as that where there's a difference between pressure from the wavelengths that don't fit between particles, that creates a lower pressure between them and the higher pressure on the outside of them, and it pushes them together. And that's the difference of pressure and gravity, the stuff that caught. And so when stuff finally comes together, it's being pushed together by the forces, held together by those forces. There's still the difference was the space in between, which has still the negative pressure, the absence of the pressure. Okay, see, so it's still binary. Okay, but so you can think of that as well. It's still warping. It's still warping. Well, the strings all doing this like this, pushing stuff together that's done this because they're longer. The smaller ones that can't stay like this, all doing this, pushing them together. Okay, and that all doing this around the materials warps it around it. Okay, and this is a warping space-time by matter. Okay, which matter is made of space-time, which is slightly different than because it's different lengths of strings, which ultimately, um, anyway, so all these virtual particles they've found are all just basic the tangling of the strings and the peak wave patterns. So everything that is solid, well, it's solid, and it's still vibrating because it's like the sponge through it, and because, well, it's like, well, what happens when you start, drive a car through the air, right? And it pushes some of the air, and some of the air goes around it, some goes around this way. You got the windows down, some of the air goes through it. Okay, well, see, because you got to think like that because in between, in between everything, it's like virtually nothing except what space-time strings, the strings that don't tangle, the ones that are too small that you can't even get a microscope to see them. There's no way to manipulate them to see them, so this things present to you. Okay, which the only phenomenon we have is gravity and gravity waves that are produced by, well, everything. Like my hand is producing gravity waves right now because, well, all the atoms that make up my hand, multiple atoms, make multiple molecules, make up my cells, look at the space in between them. And in between that space, there's Higgs field, space-time, the fabric of space, the omniferous ether. But the name's been called by thousands of names. But I'll call it lily-bitty strings made of jazz hands. Okay, all hooked together to make up a certain length of string. Okay? To make up a string that can float and tangle and break apart maybe if it's not entangled with other strings. Okay? Made up in other words, what we'll call a known particle, solid particle of the standard model. So that is to say the particles that make up the protons and neutrons. Okay. Okay, those. And then everything else around it is a virtual particle, including the electrons that are orbiting it. And they're a product of the wave function that surrounds it. Okay. A bunch of, write in a formula, you look up all the symbols. I don't have any, to be honest. I have none of those symbols memorized. But I'll tell you what's important to me when I'm looking up is all the symbols necessary for the Goliath motor. So I can express that function of how that thing works in a mathematical formula. So anyway, that's what's important to me now. So I'm not really worried about anything else. We're working on that one. So in between all the millions of things we have to do, we get a couple minutes a day to work on that. How about that? But anyway, we're working on. That's some of our millions of things involves getting our what would you say, our construction area, our recycling zone where and construction area where we take our scrap metal and get our parts and then put the scrap metal, cut it and shape it and put it together into the prototypes. Of course, all of this, as we do it, every single bit of it will be put out, we can video it and put it out in a private video, stick it multiple places in private videos. Okay, why? It's because, call it protection, because if something happens to it, okay, all I gotta do is go public, 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 multiple places. Here it is, boom, there it was, boom, there it is, 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 oh, there it is. Oh, we'll just publish the page we created on Facebook. It's already all about it because we're so sure that this thing works. All the math. Mathematically, this Goliath motor works. Okay, so it's just about building it now, proving it. So Rocky's all like, what was that clapping about? He's all like, what do you want me to do, huh? I am a drum dog in pa-rum-pa-pum-pump. Being a drum, yeah, here he is. All I do is play the bongos. He comes and tries to get in between it. He is a drum dog in pa-rum-pa-pum-pump. He likes being the drum. Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah. Okay, so let me get into AURORA. That's what we want to do. That's what's important to me right now. And we're going to get our little mousy thing here. We're going to come sit down on our mousy thing. We're going to come over here. And this, we're going to share. We're going to do this first. We'll get a copy the link. We'll come to another tab right now. I'm going to put this link right here. And where it says say something. Paste. Boom, there's the link to the video. There. Stick it. There. Okay. There it is. Okay. So now, and we want to type. It's a description. Here. I'm going to go. Inside that. Oh, what's it doing? Okay, there we go. Open inside tab. Okay, there it is. Now, okay, we're going to hit send stream for a second. We're going to send you the audio for a minute. And then cut it, okay? and we'll send it again. We'll send it as a little piece. Little pieces. Let's see. Well, we don't really need to send you a piece, just enough where you can synchronize it, okay? And then we'll have it in our headphones. We'll put headphones on because we don't want it to get it on microphone, right? Okay, so so yeah, we're gonna our speakers. Get our headphones on. These are pretty cool headphones. I had these Sennheiser headphones, and the whole headphone thing broke, you know, the head strap. So you know what I did is I glued the speakers from the Sennheiser headphones into these hearing protectors, and it's like, well, I think these are probably about the best headphones I've ever had. Because it gives you the best of both worlds. You put them on, you can't even hear yourself talk. Because they're for, like, you know, guns, shooting guns. And so it's like, well, okay, now I've got my gun shooting headphones on. And we're going to turn the speakers off. Okay, to the room. Okay. Oh, come on, push the button. There it is. All right, now we're assigned to send you the feed off of our playback for a second. Okay, so here's AURORA. We'll open AURORA and close this share thing. Now, You know, we never did hit the like button. We do totally like it. We did, and we copied those when we saw them. Discovered. Copy. Okay, here. Come over here. I'll put it right here. Okay, there it is. Go ahead, go. Okay, what's the matter? Okay. Oh, I see. There's a little space here. What the? Okay. Now, is it too long or something or what? It's too long. All right, here. We're going to cut that out. Now will it go? It don't want to go. Okay. Why not? How come it don't want to go? Oh. All right, anyway.
Jeg gleder meg masse. Og så vet jeg hva jeg skal gjøre i 2020.
Okay,
Så det er deilig å ikke vite hva jeg skal gjøre i dag.
So what we're going to do is...
Men jeg gleder meg til å se Kristine. Det er lenge siden jeg har sett henne.
Language you think that is?
Nei! Jeg har fått meg bil, og i den skal noen av Norges største popstjerner få haik. Musikken de lager gir lykke, trøst og mot til så mange av oss, og derfor har jeg lyst til å gi dem noe tilbake.
Det er kjempefint.
I dag er det Aurora som skal hylles.
Okay. So get the picture. All right, now we can park this and get our stream monitor back. All right, so now all right, see, how do you like that? You can hear me, I can hear her. Once I turn on this other mic, I can hear myself. This main, these other headphones. This microphone. Hey! Okay. There we go. I got some reverb. Oh, that's too much. Check. Okay. All right, check this out. I'm gonna send you this for a second.
This world you live in is not a place for someone like you. Come on, let us dance.
Isn't that beautiful? I mean, okay, so these headphones. Wear a pair of headphones, please.
Jeg var veldig mye i skogen da jeg var liten.
So they do.
Ekstremt mye.
This is a concert. That's what this is. You'll be able to hear it. Yeah. How about that? Huh? Yeah, huh? Here they're talking right here. See it? Little picture. Huh? How about that? Rockies are pretty cool. Huh? You like it when you hear well, huh? Mm-hmm. First time with headphones. Yeah. He's a headphone wearing dog. He's a headphone wearing dog. He knows exactly what he wants to hear. He's a headphone wearing dog. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is great. Okay, anyway. I'm ready for some more coffee. Frozen yogurt. Yeah. Actually, now, mainly, the main thing I wanted to do with this stream is turn you all onto this AURORA. So, really, we don't plan on hanging out too long.
Som jeg nå skal dra og hente.
Well, we do want to let it get into the music. And, so, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mute my room for a minute.
Hva ga du, Aurora?
Det var første gang jeg var på Skavlan.
Wow, den her må jeg høre på. Da har jeg lov til å føle med de, føler jeg. Som måtte være i samme stadium som meg i livet, for hun har alltid så veldig
Oh yeah, I think this instrument.
I fall asleep in my own tears. I'm hiding, I'm trying.
Sånn kraft. Det er helt nydelig.
Check.
The dark, all that I see came to me in color.
That's really good. I really want to see Aurora. Aurora, storm. Anyway, because all this is good around, right. As a viewpoint, some stickers and serve respect, attention. Share, hey. Say goodbye. Hey. See you later. Enjoy Aurora. Okay.